Hey y'all, welcome to Entertainment Unlocked. It's your host here. This your boy Mike Lenz.
Yo, it's Jared.
This week we're gonna be talking about the Marines justice system and how we both see it's some bullshit. It's heavily flawed, and there's a bunch of reasons why. Number one, the first time I seen the Marines justice system being just BS is what they done to Robin and why she had the bounty that she had. Like, we see that she's from Ohara, and like they call a buster call to destroy the island, everybody on that island, just for the fact that they could read the poneglyphs. And we know that the poneglyphs tie the Marines and the Celestials to some very shady activity. So just that alone, that was the first time I had a big question mark and I had to rub my chin like, what's going on here?
Yeah, I feel what you're saying, because like in any other world, like the Marines and pirates, if it was black and white, it would be pirates are bad people, the Marines are good people. But we know Oda's kind of made this world where he's making the Marines, like, it's not so clear cut. You know, there's good pirates, there's bad pirates. There's good Marines, there's bad Marines. But I just have a weird, like, I just feel like the Marines contradict, like, themselves. Like, when you think of, like, a Kainu and his... Because each admiral usually, each admiral has their own view of justice, and I think Akainu is like absolute justice. And I see, okay, absolute, like he's supposed to, he finds, if he finds something that he deems injustice, then you know he feels like it's his responsibility to be clear cut about his morals. And I just find that hard to believe when you know you serve the Celestials, who work with slavery and work with imprisoning people and work on like a social caste system. So I just find that it contradicts itself that you're about absolute justice, but you don't serve the justice, absolutely. So.
That's a fact. Like, just like you said, like looking at what the Celestials do alone, we have like 3 black characters in One Piece. And one of them
I think we know all the fishmen are the black people in One Piece. So.
Okay, all right. I'm just saying, like, you got Usopp, you got Aokiji, and you got Kuma. Those are like, y'all are my brothers. Like, I don't care what you say.
And they've all been treated badly in this series.
What I'm saying? But Kuma, you see what the Celestials gonna did to my mans. Mm-hmm. Like, talking about he's our strongest slave. Like, yo, on a serious note, I felt some type of way watching that. But I'm gonna let you rock for now, Oda. But like, going back to what you said, like, that's one thing I do love about One Piece is like, you can tie a lot of ideals that it has to real life, because it's like good cops, there's bad cops. You know what I'm saying? There's good people and bad people, no matter what part of life you look at. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes to the justice system and the Celestials having absolute dictative authority over everything, I can't vouch for them. And Akainu, especially Marineford, he illustrated that, he's not the nicest person of the bunch. He was ready. Yeah. He was ready to dust Kobe in front of everybody. Like,
in front of everybody.
If Shanks didn't pull up, Kobe.
Oh no, Kobe wouldn't have been a character in the series anymore.
Yeah, he would have been right next to Whitebeard and Ace on that mountain cliff. Like, would have been done. He would have been done up
with no visitors. Like,
no visitors.
So we can see the corruption in all the stages of government throughout the One Piece world. We see it in Impel Down, how the court systems and the judges, they were kind of corrupt, where they weren't even letting anybody off. They were being sent straight to Impel Down. We see it in Impel Down, where nobody ever gets out of Impel Down, even no matter what crime they committed. You kind of stay there. So, and then when you get to the Gorosei, who are serving this almighty lord, who they're keeping in the shadows, and then we're looking at the Celestials who have slaves. It's kind of just a contradiction how you could work for a system that's trying to oppress the system. So
that's a fact. And another thing to tie in, because I remember you brought this up to me before, like way back when he first said it, and for some reason I didn't notice it, but Fujitora, like, yeah, we see out of all the Marines, like, he's one of the most, to me, he has like good energy, like good intentions, you know what I'm saying? Like, you see how he felt about the relationship between the Marines helping out the warlords after actually seeing what Doflamingo was doing in Dressrosa. So you can see that he wants to abolish that whole system, which is pretty much what happens. But it's like, why do you hate the warlords so much?
I know, right? It's it's so crazy that he's one-sided with this this shit.
So
it's
one-sided,
like,
yo.
And it's like at one point he's like, oh yeah, I see that like Luffy. I see that he can change. Like Luffy puts his spell on him. He's like, oh yeah, Luffy's a good person, everything.
Yeah.
And then then the next moment he's like, yeah, I gotta get rid of these warlords. So I'm like, okay, you were doing good, and then you lost me, and he's protecting the people at like he fights against the Revolutionary Army at Marijoa's. I'm like, dude, do you not know that right underneath the ground you're fighting on, there's slaves? Like, I know you can sense them with your observation hockey.
That's what I'm saying. Your observation hockey should be like on a whole different level. Like,
like you should be discuss it the most. You should be seeing the people.
You should feel that pain on every step you take.
Like, are those slaves walking on their own like feces? Like,
yo, I'll be laughing.
Oh my
at
god.
Nah, but seriously though, like stuff like that is a clear contradiction of how can I really validate your justice when you want to abolish the Shichibukai, and at the same time you work for the Celestials when you clearly firsthand see what they do to people. Like legit, just thinking about Rob Lucci defending one of the Celestials when they were about to enslave and pretty much rape Shirahoshi was ridiculous, bro. Like, I know, and I'm thinking like, yo, Neptune really about to just die, and I understand, but it's just like, yo, the Celestials are they're scumbags, bro. Like, I can't vouch for them.
And we don't even know what this Imsama guy is all about. Like, is he the one that's like what's his viewpoint on like the world and stuff? Is he really about this caste system? Like, there's so much mystery behind what his viewpoints are. So
that's a fact.
It's so crazy.
He's a silhouette with Mihawk's eyes. That's all I can tell you.
Come to find out it's Mihawk and shit. Like,
I'm his evil twin brother. Nah, but seriously though, like just digging a little deeper into the Celestials and what they done to Robin, it's like, you know, something crazy happened in that dark void of the century, and it's tied to their powers and the falling of the kingdoms and the ones that are left that, you know, they meet for reverie now. But I just wonder, like, what happened? Like the weapons of destruction, it had to be decimation of like whole civilizations and people, all types of dirty, crazy stuff that they're hiding. And I know the Marines, if not everybody in the Marines, obviously, probably very high stature people, maybe the Admiral, who knows. But people know what went on, and they're just working for them and covering up because of the people at power. And it's just like, it's legit just like government today. Like, there's dictatorships that do all types of wrong, and people are brainwashed to believe that their justice is absolute. It's some BS, but
but you got to give it up to Oda for finding a way to put real life, like, it's even more like he's mimicking our society in a way that's so cartoonish and, you know, like a parody that, like, you're not even paying attention to it. Like, we understand that, like, fishermen are like, they hate the humans and they hate the fact that they were treated as like objects, and it's almost like you would see like in our society, but you know, but they're fishermen. Like, we're not thinking them as people ourselves because we're viewers. Like, it's just a weird way to look at, like, try and implement our own society into his art, which you got to give him props for.
That's a fact. And another thing I do want to touch on, one of my favorite characters is Garp for like a bunch of reasons. He's a Marine, has a D in his name, and at times you can notice he has like that split in him where he has to make a hard decision. You know what I'm saying? When they went to,
he makes the wrong ones.
I'm not even gonna get into that. I just know he goes through a lot mentally, because just with Ace's execution alone. But you could tell that he doesn't like the Celestials either, and he's another big hypocrite as well. Humongous. Because like, I forgot what Asabo's brother wanted to be, like the overall ruler, and he wants to be like a Celestial, and Garp is like downplaying him, like, why you want to be one of those fools? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, do you guys understand who you're working for, but still talk about justice? So how can I validate who you are, especially Garp? But I still love Garp. He's still one of my favorite characters. But
yeah, why do we love him so much? Like, he's literally made bad decision after bad decision, but
it's just the complex decisions he has to make because of who he is as a character. Like, you're part of the Will of D, and you legit work with the Marines. Your son is one of the biggest, most wanted person on earth, and Luffy's an upcoming Yonko. It's crazy. Like, I just love his character and what he represents for the show, even though he's a walking contradiction. It's cool though.
Yeah, I guess it's cool.
Yeah, this is how we see the Marines and their justice, and how we think it's absolute BS. If you like what we said, hit that like button or subscribe to the channel.
And if you have anything to add into how you feel the Marines and their justice system and their like morality and whole, like put that in the comment section. Let's have a conversation.
That's a fact. We'll both love to see what you guys have to say. And on that note, peace.
Peace out.
A-Town down. Yeah, it's like that.